Right, in the last segment there with Brent Kylan, I covered just how heavily the Democrats have leaned into the abortion issue, and they're going to be making it a central plank of their party. And so, as both the Trump and Harris campaigns are obviously seeking to try to reach every U.S. demographic, an upcoming documentary reminds viewers that the abortion provider Planned Parenthood was actually founded by known racist and eugenicist Margaret Sanger. And in that series, multiple numbers of black pastors have spoken out. They speak in this documentary. They're denouncing abortion as racist, and they're calling on black faith leaders to speak out against the slaughter of the unborn. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Ryan Bomberger, who's the co-founder and chief creative officer of the Radiance Foundation. Ryan, welcome to Washington Watch. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, it's great to be here with you.
Okay, so Planned Parenthood, I think there's a lot of people who may be familiar with its roots, but probably there's tons of people out there who are not. So they're obviously trying to run from their racist roots, but can you take a moment and tell us about their origins?
Well, sure. They can try to run, but they can't change their DNA, nor do they want to change their DNA. I mean, they were birthed out of the same racist, elitist pseudoscience that birthed the Holocaust, which is called eugenics. They can't run away from that. In fact, they're actually worse now than they were during Margaret Sanger's days, when they weren't killing human beings, and now over 360,000 every year killed by Planned Parenthood. But the origins of Planned Parenthood are rooted in this mindset that certain people didn't deserve to live. Those who were considered unfit, those who were children who were born out of wedlock, and women who had children out of wedlock or outside of marriage. And of course, poorer blacks, which is what precipitated the Negro Project, which was to target poorer black communities with birth control, because their promise was birth control would lift you out of poverty. And it never did. And it never does, actually. And so today it's abortion on demand, where literally abortion is the #1 killer in the black community. It kills more black lives in 2 weeks than the KKK killed in a century. That's the reality today.
Wow. That's stunning. You look at abortion so disproportionately affecting black communities. And I would imagine there's many women who may not know about Planned Parenthood's origin and how they started. Your thoughts? How can we get this out? People need to know what you just said.
Right. Well, our organization, the Radiance Foundation, actually started in your home state in Georgia. And we began with a billboard campaign that called out the insane and inherent racism in the abortion industry. And so we had a campaign called TooManyAborted.com. In Georgia, 67% of all abortions are among black lives, young black children. Yet Planned Parenthood and these Planned Parenthood funded minority groups are trying to say, no, abortion's our uplift out of poverty. Abortion is equality. It's our empowerment. How is any community empowered by killing its posterity? And in Georgia, 5.5 times higher abortion rate among blacks than whites. First, abortion, no matter the color, is devastating and wrong and so tragic. But yet you have these Ford Foundation and Planned Parenthood Foundation funded organizations that are led by people with my complexion that are saying, wait, we need more abortions in the black community. And we were saying, wait, there are too many aborted. One is too many. And so people not realizing the racist roots and the unsevered DNA or the unchanged DNA of Planned Parenthood don't realize. In fact, Planned Parenthood brags about it. They brag about how black people are their base. That came from one of their emails. Of course, black people are their base because we're their main customers. And yet today, Planned Parenthood touts itself as an anti-racism organization. How can you be anti-racism when you're the leading killer of black lives? That also goes to show the fraud of the anti-racism movement. It's completely
that is incredible information. So what do you say specifically to black Christians who have accepted abortion as just simply part of the package when it comes to supporting Democrats, and at the same time, the preachers who are more Democrat than they are gospel preachers when it comes to standing up for the unborn?
I mean, the dissonance is just unbelievable. I mean, you got the Democratic Party, which is the party of slavery, the party that went to war for slavery, the party of Jim Crow, the party of poll taxes and literacy tests, all the Jim Crow policies. That's the same party that is now the party of what Fannie Lou Hamer, the famous anti-poverty activist, the famous voting rights activist, said, called abortion genocide in the Black community. That is the same party today that is pushing unlimited abortion in the Black community. So what I say to those pastors is, wake up. I mean, you are literally having lives made in the image of God destroyed under the name of some fake sort of equality, fake sort of reproductive justice. The only justice that pastors or anybody else, any other Christian, I should say, should be concerned with is biblical justice. And it's not biblical justice to slaughter our unborn and to have women exploited by a multi-billion-dollar abortion industry. So we have to wake up. And I'm encouraged because I am seeing this awakening, this illumination. We keep fighting for it through the Radiance Foundation, but there are so many Christians who need to wake up. The Democrat Party is still the party that does not see us as being created equal.
Less than a minute, Ryan, how are you seeing an awakening? What are you seeing out there that we can encourage people with right now?
Well, we're seeing an awakening by pastors being bold and actually speaking out about this. And I've been a part of that effort. A number of my colleagues, whether it's Alveda King or Catherine Davis, the late Dean Nelson, Arnold Culbreth, we have been working for years and years to educate pastors so they can educate their congregations. We've launched so many different kinds of initiatives, and to see the response. Now, it's not like this seismic shift, but even if it's handful of people here and a handful of people there, it's a victory. And we're seeing now two people awakening with the utter destruction that Planned Parenthood is bringing to communities. So I'm encouraged. And that's what I want to impart to people. Have hope, because when you are awakened, when you understand the truth, you have clarity and context.
Thank you.
It sets people free.
Thank you, Ryan Bomberger, co-founder and chief creative officer of Radiance Foundation. Powerful message you bring to the table. God bless you, sir. Keep it up.